Hello everyone, Onlydraven here again, and today we're doing another tutorial in Minecraft All the Mods 8. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the breeding chamber, which is a device that assists you in creating different bees from the Productive Bees mod by breeding different types of them together. It's a pretty easy process, and we're going to show you how that works. It's really the primary way you're going to get the majority of the bees you need to complete this mod. Now, if you find this video helpful and you like it, please be sure to click like, but most importantly, please remember to hit that subscribe button so that way you can see all my videos and tutorials as they come out. Alrighty. So, the first thing we're going to need is going to be an upgrade base. And this component is the initial component you need for any of the different upgrades available in Productive Bees. That's going to be 3 emerald, 1 diamond, 4 sticks, and a honey treat. Now we're going to take that and we're going to use that to make an upgrade baby. And that's going to be our upgrade base, 4 honeycomb block, and 4 of any flower. Next, we're going to make the breeding chamber itself, and that's going to be that upgrade baby we just made, a rose bush, and then 7 iron ingots. And then lastly, we're also going to need some bee cages, which is just 2 wooden planks and a honey bottle. All right, so to make this device work, you're also going to need an RF power source. Any power source in the game will work. For this tutorial, I'm just going to be using a creative battery, but you can connect this to a windmill, any of the different generators, any of the different type of devices that produce power in the game, reactors and everything, okay? So we're going to set down our chamber here. So as we look in here, you can see there's 2 little pictures of a hand, 2 little pictures that look like bee cages, and then another bee cage picture here with some hearts and so on and so forth. Now this here is showing where it's getting power. Right now it doesn't have any, so let's go ahead and set that up. Put ourselves a battery down, connect it with a pipe, and now you can see it's got energy. So that's the primary resource, okay? So you can use this to breed regular bees. Let's start by doing that. I'm going to grab some bee cages, and I'm going to grab some poppies. And flowers are important. Go ahead and see if we can get ourselves a couple bees here. Well, they're all in there making honey. We'll give them a second to pop out. Oh, and there goes another one. There he is. Grab him too. Okay, so now that we've got our 2 bees in bee cages, we're going to go back to our breeding chamber and we're going to place both of them in these upper corners. Now, these are just regular bees I'm using right now. So, for fuel, if you would, to allow them to breed, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a flower in each one of these hands. Now, pretty much any flower in the game will work. And then that's going to start it to fill up these little hearts. And as they get all the way across, it's going to produce us another bee. Now, it's because I'm using just 2 regular bees, it's going to give us another regular bee. But in order for that bee to actually complete, it's going to need some bee cages right here. So once this is all the way done, it would pop into a bee. Okay? Now, because the regular bees, you're not seeing anything right here, and that's totally fine. It is easier to just give a flower to 2 regular bees that are flying around. Just like any other animal like you're breeding, like cows or chickens and such, that will then cause them to instantly make another bee. So this is not the fastest process for making regular bees, but it is the device you're going to need to automate bee production and make any of the specialty bees. Now again, if this goes all the way through, then that's going to give us a bee. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the end of that. Okay, so they're about to finish up here. We skipped past the space, the time it takes. The process itself can be pretty slow, but you can add speed upgrades in the upgrade slots here on the right, which can drastically increase the time it takes to go ahead and do that. So I highly recommend using those when you're able to make them. And there we are. We have now our first bee. Now that used up 1 flower on each side, and then automatically it's going to start making more of the same one, and it'll continue to do that process until it either runs out of cages, runs out of poppies, or whatever flower you're using, but it will stop if there's not an empty slot here for the bee to go into. So you do have to empty this out or have some type of pipe that's pulling the item out if you're looking to automate that. So we've got ourselves a regular bee here, and that's fine. That's awesome. That shows us a way to do that. But like I said, it is much faster to just give a flower to 2 bees flying around. Now, where this does come important, though, is when you're trying to breed specialty bees. So let's go ahead and put a bunch of this away here. And we're going to grab a yellow carpenter bee and a green carpenter bee, okay? So if you take these bees, these are 2 bees you can get relatively easily just by using regular bee nests, which is a tutorial out for that as well. You can find them out in the world. And if you put a yellow bee and a green bee, carpenter bees, it's going to produce a specialty bee. As you can see here, it's telling us this is going to make a lumber bee. So a lumber bee is not a bee that you normally just find out in the world. So to get one of these guys, you just have to breed these 2 bees together. Now, it's important to remember that some bee combinations like this, a yellow bee and a green bee, have the ability to give multiple different types of bees. So if this is giving a lumber bee, but it also could make, let's say, a carpenter bee or something like that, or a different color carpenter bee, and you're not wanting the one it gives us here, taking it out and putting it back in will reset it and potentially give you the other type of bee. Sometimes you're going to have to take these in and out several times to get the actual bee you want. There's a couple of the metallic ones that can create combinations that can create 3 or 4 different bees. So that's great because you can get 3 or 4 different bees out of just catching 2, but you may have to keep pulling them in and out until they give you the ones you want. So as this zips across, and goes a little bit hopefully faster, it's going to give us a lumber bee, which is the first bred bee that we're going to make today. Bred as in we're breeding them. So let's go ahead and speed this up a touch by grabbing us just a few speed upgrades so we can see that process. Let's grab a couple of those real quick. There they are, 2, 3, and 4. Pop those in there, and you can see it's already given us the bee. See how quickly that went through? And that's because it counted for the time it had already had. So we'll pull our lumber bee out, and if we watch it, you can see it's going much faster than it did before. It's already filled 1 heart. But that's going to give us a lumber bee in a cage, and that's great. He's already in a cage. Now, if you hold shift over that bee in the cage, it's going to give you some of the specifics. Now, this bee is in child form. It's not an adult yet. So you can set it out in the world and give it time to become an adult, and there's different ways to help age them faster. And it gives you some of the specifications for this bee specifically. But now that you have this bee, you can take it into your bee enclosure, wherever you have your bees, and you can let it out. As you can see, it's a baby bee, so he's just a tiny little guy. And he went inside one of our little empty cages that were already here. Or went inside one here. There he is. So he went inside the empty slot in this advanced oak beehive, because he has the ability to provide honeycomb of a specific type. So if we go ahead and make that daytime again, you can catch him with another cage if you want. He's probably still in there since he's a baby. He's not going to be coming out as quickly. But you can catch him and use him, or if you can have it in the cage if you want, you can put the cages in a chest. Kind of like here, we have a digger bee and a green carpenter bee. You could just set him in there and hang on to him in case you need to breed him with something else later to make another advanced bee. And as you can see, we've already got a second one. So we take our second one. I'm not going to let this one loose. We're just going to go ahead and put him in here, and that way down the road, if I happen to need a lumber bee to breed with a different type of bee to get a specialty bee, I can just pull him out of there and do that. And there's the little baby version of him that's already out there. You can grab him again and set him in there if you like, or you can just let him fly around and participate inside your honeybees. But the breeding chamber is integral to this entire mod. You're going to have to use it to get all of the specialty bees. Let me rephrase that. Many of the specialty bees. As you can see, there are all sorts of different bees in the JEI here. Some of these bees you're going to catch. Some of them you're going to produce them in specific ways using different components and different mods. But a large amount of them, I feel comfortable saying the majority of them are going to be a combination of breeding 2 different bees together. And for that, you need the breeding chamber. Now, on occasion, you are going to need something different than a flower. It will tell you in the bee breeding menu. So let's just say I wanted to make a tungsten bee. I'm going to click on him. Tungsten bee tells me I need an ender bee and I need a coal bee. These are 2 bees that will make a tungsten bee. And it's flipping between the different flowers in the game. I can scroll to see faster. Any flower will work. But, again, it doesn't always show flowers here. So you have to watch for that. Same as if you click on a bee that doesn't have a recipe, sometimes it'll tell you different. It'll say they can't breed amongst themselves, which means you can't put 2 of these bees and give them honey treats and they'll breed. This one you have to fish out of a warm ocean. So this bee would not, the breeding chamber is not going to help you with a Patrick bee. But if you jump into a platinum bee, we now know that it needs an ender bee and a gold bee to give us a platinum bee. And any type of flower will work. Again, you can scroll through them and you can see there's all the different Botania flowers, all the regular flowers, and all the biomes flowers. So any of these flowers will work to get you a platinum bee. So breeding chamber is super duper important. Something you're going to want to make as soon as you possibly can. Now, based on the recipe, you can see you're going to already have to have some bees, and you are going to have some emeralds and diamonds in order to be able to make the breeding chamber itself. So you're going to be doing a little mining. It's not going to be instantaneous, but it's not too deep in as well. Okay, so that's going to do us for this tutorial. Now, if you have any questions about this tutorial or any of my tutorials, please be sure to put that down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back with you as quickly as I possibly can. As well as if you have any recommendations or suggestions for other tutorials you'd like to see in All the Mods 8, I'm always looking for new ideas. There are already several different ones out concerning the Productive Bees mod, and I'll be putting out more showing more components and parts of that mod. But definitely if you have any questions about those, let me know. You can also go to my website, Onlydraven.com, and there at the bottom of the homepage is a place that you can submit questions or recommendations for tutorials if you should have some, as well as find my social media accounts and other cool resources if you're looking for stuff like that. Alrighty, but that is going to do me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.